are so afraid of being judged. We're so afraid of what people think of us. So often we show up the way we believe people want to see us. We give certain answers and behave in a certain way to be accepted, to be liked. I always wanted to be acknowledged. I always wanted to be part of the circle. I always wanted to be part of the group. And often that comes from, I'd say, pain if you're not happy with who you are. And then again, you get some people that don't even really know who they are. You know, they don't really know who they are. So they behave in a certain manner because it comes from a biased opinion. That's all you're used to, that's all you've seen, so you don't know how to show up being who you are. When I do something that I'm not really happy with afterwards, and there's this feeling in the pit of my stomach that leaves me feeling queasy and uneasy, that's when I know that I haven't really been authentically true to me. And for the longest time, I lived life that way. I lived life where I did so much and kept on doing things for others that didn't really resonate with me. And life just happens, and you just go on and on and on, just doing things that you're not really happy with. And that's when you find yourself depleted, absolutely depleted. So everything is a facade. You know, the happy face that you put on is a facade. You, in an environment at work, you know, you achieving and doing things. So many of us are in positions and jobs that, do they really fulfill the character of me, the character of what you enjoy doing? Life is not easy, yes, I get that. And I also understand that bills need to be paid. So sometimes we say, yes, authentic me would love to be on a beach painting or would love to be doing certain artistic things. But in reality, that doesn't pay the bills. And you're right, that doesn't pay the bills. But again, and I know I keep coming back to planning, you know, if you haven't planned, then you're forever going to be unhappy. You're forever not going to be true to yourself. Because in the real world, we need to live, we need to eat, we need to clothe ourselves, we need to pay for school fees, we need to pay a bond, we need to pay for a vehicle. We all aspire to have a bit of entertainment sometimes, to go out and have some fun. We all aspire to a holiday at some point. And sometimes you find all these desires of our hearts are not actually met. Why? Because we're not being true to ourselves, we haven't planned correctly. So how do we change this? How do we change all these feelings of wanting what we don't have? First point for me is start being authentic. Start being true to who you are. What are the things that truly make you happy? Are you showing up being true to yourself? Or are you showing up pleasing others to be accepted? Now, if you're not showing up true to yourself and you're not really being who you are, then you are going to face the challenges and the difficulty and the regrets in life. But if you stand firm and you say, what is my vision? And actually map it out. And then you say to yourself, what am I truly passionate about? And express that passion. And then have some kind of action plan. Now we're talking. Now we're going someplace. And what are the tools you need to actually put all of that into place? Because depletion is real. The negative feelings on the inside are real. So what are my likes? What are my values? What are the characteristics that I show of who I actually am? Am I covering them up? Am I masking them? Or am I really showing up the way I am? When I step out and somebody asks me, how am I? Or someone asks you, how are you? Are you being true to self? Are you sharing? I'm not in a happy space. I'm not in a good space. I'm challenged. I'm challenged with this. I'm challenged with that. Or are we saying, all is well. I'm good. I'm happy. Because then that's not being true, if that's not the truth. Have we challenged ourselves to look inside and say, why do I say I'm okay when I'm not okay? Because this is the real question. So many of us say we're fine when we're truly not fine. Are we scared to ask for help? Are we embarrassed to say where we're at? Are we afraid that if I share the truth, I'm going to be judged for it? And if you really look at it, what's the worst that can happen if you really share your truth? Whoever is asking you the question of how are they true to self? Are you associating yourself with the right people? Where are you at? How do you actually look and say, what are my own values? What are the things that I aspire to? Because you might find yourself being an entrepreneur and working for self, or you might find yourself in a corporate space. Now, depending on what space you're in, we often need to build our own intellectual property, but in order to do this, we often learn from others. If you're in a corporate space, you find that you're doing your job perfectly well. If you aspire to become more, are you extending yourself to be in the spaces of the people that are already where you would like to be? Because this is where you can learn a lot. Are you allowing yourself to be a sponge? Are you extending yourself with extra time and putting in effort? Because when you start putting all these things into place and the vision starts becoming the action and you start doing everything that it takes to become who you are, then you're working towards becoming a better self. Now, often we get caught up in the spaces where we're building brands and brands that are not ours. So we're building this brand because it's a means to an end. I am in a job and I have commitments and I have expenses. So yes, I get that. But while you're doing all of this and you riding on the credibility of the brand, have it ever dawned on you that there may come a time where you're no longer standing on the shoulders of this brand and one is to step aside? Will you then be recognized for your years of experience, your years of dedication? There's so many stories that I hear of where people have worked for years in certain companies. And yes, there's a thank you and a sense of gratitude with a small token. And off you go on your merry way. And then that leaves resentment because you feel you've given so much. So yes, I'm not saying one shouldn't build other brands and one shouldn't do well and excel in the corporate space or in other space where there's teamed effort and it's not directly linked to who you are or your own brand. But have you taken the time to think, just maybe, I need to build my brand too. And I need to ensure that I'm comfortable with who I am. I'm comfortable with my brand of the individual that I am and with the things that I aspire to, with the things that I would like to do. And if you're an entrepreneur and you're building, be it a product or be it a service, are you working strongly on the credibility of what that brand should look like? Now, that's where I come back to being conscious, working with people that can help you be accountable, and really creating a solid plan, solid direction of where you want to be. I'm so grateful to be where I'm at. I'm so grateful to have an open mind. I'm so grateful to be flexible and not rigid. And yes, one doesn't know everything. We learn every day, but it's having the open mind to want to learn, to connect with people that assist you to learn and grow forward. I'm so grateful to the favor, to God's favor, and every step I take, every direction I take, I consult with God first. And I ask God to lead me, to guide me. And I am available to help you, to lead you, and to guide you. Please share a link to people that you believe may benefit. And please make contact with us, should that be you. You can send us a direct message on our Instagram, our Facebook. Stay well and stay blessed.